Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to PB Scam Ranger webinar series. I am Roland Lee, who will be the presenter for today. Ha! Did you fall for that? Let me pass you to the real Mr. Roland Lee.
Thank you, Shah, for the impersonation gimmick to start out this afternoon's PB Scam Ranger webinar series. Right, a warm welcome to everyone joining in today's session, which is our third PB Scam Rangers webinar series on scam awareness. This is actually an initiative by the bank to keep our customers and the general public updated on the scam tactics and know how to take preventive measures from being victims of scams, as scams has disrupted many people's lives and sadly resulting in financial losses. My name is Roland. Yes, I'm not a scammer, but I'll be presenting today's webinar topic on impersonation scam. Now, this session will be approximately 30 minutes long and will be recorded. We will share the presentation at our bank's official YouTube page after the session. This will be the agenda for today. So let's start off later by looking at the definition and how does this impersonation scams work, and the different types of impersonation scams with some statistics and red flags to look out for. Now, there will be some case studies that we will look into to basically summarize up the impersonation scams, the red flags, and what are their different tactics. And of course, lastly, we will also share, tips on how to avoid to become a victim, and by looking at also some of the enhanced security features that Public Bank has done and has implemented. And of course, lastly, what happens, if you have fallen victim to a scam, and what should you do and how to lodge a report. So that is what we're going to look at today. Now, so what is impersonation scam? So it happens when fraudsters pose as trusted individuals or representatives of legitimate organizations such as police officers, income tax officers. Recently, you hear a lot that even the NSRC or the National Scam Response Officer being imitated from various government agencies, even bank staff, or even friends, family members, to deceive victims into revealing either personal information or transferring money into these scammers' account. Now, the impersonation scam, basically, they also have strategies. They also have tactics. Okay. So what would they do is that they will always start off by making contact with the victims. Now, they will either call you or they will either message you. Okay, how they got your number is something whereby nowadays it's very difficult to know, because it seems that our handphone numbers is being, spread around. So they will call you and they will introduce themselves. Now, the initial introduction by them, it sounds very genuine because they use the local language. And they claim that they are from the government agency, and the language, the local language that they speak, it's very fluent and it's genuine. What they will do is that they will talk to you. They will tell you that you have done something illegal. Of course, this is basically to scare us, to put fear into us. Now, once they are able to create that fear, what they will do is that they will also listen. They will listen to how we react to these scam tactics, that the script that they have actually thoroughly prepared. So they will listen to your tone of voice, to your reaction, and if they feel that you are scared and you are worried, that's where they will move on to their next strategy. That will be they'll put pressure onto you. Like I said, they will say that you have done something wrong, illegal, and what they will do next is that to force you to give them your personal details, your bank accounts or your e-banking passwords and whatnot, or maybe transfer money from your account to their account on the pretext that the intention is to protect your account. Now, so this is generally how this scammer works. So they have their strategies, they have their scripts to go through, and this is what they will do, to cheat victims out of the money. Now, there are different types of impersonation scams. Either they'll call you pretending to be from the government agencies or the law enforcement agencies. And recently also we noticed that they have moved on to a new modus operandi. They claim to be your family, friends, or even colleagues. So let's look at, in detail how this impersonation scam really works. Now, like I said, the victims will receive phone calls from these scammers claiming to be government officers or the police. Okay, and they will start off by saying and accusing you that you are being involved in an illegal activity, whether in unpaid taxes, or you're involved in money laundering, or even as simple as like, they found that you have sent a package that contains IC. Okay, so the objective of this accusation is basically, to make us scared or to create fear into us. Now, once they succeed, to create that sense of fear into the victim, so what they will do is that they will then move on to the next level by apparently transferring the call to a so-called fake police officer, to confirm that, that you have really done something wrong, and the consequences of it will be arrests or maybe legal actions will be taken against you. So they strike more fear into us. And at this particular stage, if the victim thoroughly or truly believe the scammers, they will be following what these scammers want them to do. Okay, so of course, this scammer will use things like, to clear your name or assist in investigation. You have to do this, and one of the things you need to do is transfer your money to this account, just to protect it, or just to show that you're innocent. So that is the ultimate objective of the scammer. Call you, put fear into you, force you to transfer the money or give them the personal information. And once those monies are transferred, then they will actually move on, and you will not be able to contact them. Okay. Now, the second type of impersonation scam that we notice nowadays is they have moved on. They have changed the modus operandi. Victims are apparently contacted via social media or messaging apps by scammer impersonating themselves as a friend or family member or colleague. Now, at this point of time, most likely the friend or family member or the colleague, we think that their phones would have been compromised or their phones would have been hacked. Somehow or other, these scammers will use the WhatsApp and send a message to the victims. So when you receive this message, it seems like it comes from, your close ones or your relatives and whatnot. But actual fact is that it is not them, but it's actually manipulated by the scammer. So they will create an urgent scenario. Like, for example, it's an emergency. I lost my wallet. I'm overseas. I need money. Please transfer money to me. Okay. Or to as simple as, I need help. I just service my aircon. Suddenly my account, my balance is low. Can you help me to transfer money to this person? Just the reason that they give is just, a simple reason, like I said, service and aircon. So they will ask you to immediately transfer fund to a beneficiary or to an account. Okay, so of course, most victims, when they see this, they will think that this is from my friend, from my family member. Okay, all right, I'll just transfer. Now, ended up when they transfer, they didn't know that they are being scammed. Of course, subsequently, when they perhaps, called their friends or their family members later means what, 1 hour, 2 hours, end of the day, then only they realize that there's no such thing. Okay, so this situation has been on the rise. Now let's look at some statistic. Impersonation scam has been steadily increasing from second half of last year. So the statistic that we have, which is under until quarter two 2025, it actually shows that more than 700 impersonation scam cases has been reported, and 70% of it ends up in huge financial losses. Okay, of course, the statistics shows on the rising trend. Quarter three, quarter four, we don't have the figures yet. Will it continue to rise? And the surprising thing is that why does with the countless campaigns, awareness done by the government, done by the banks, done by the general public, done by the social media or the news agency to advise everyone to be careful, but yet we still see the cases on the rise. Okay, or perhaps the scammers or the syndicates involved in this are also ever evolving their strategies and their script. Now, of course, there's a never-ending method, or there's always a scam. You will always receive telephone calls, and I believe that everyone today in this webinar would have received scam calls before. Yes, myself too. And these scam calls, when they call you, they always have a new way of or they always have a new script. The other day I received one. So how they started is that they put you at a comfort. So they started by claiming that they are from the NSRC. Okay, they're from the NSRC, National Scam Response Center, claiming that my phone has been hacked and somebody has been using my WhatsApp message and messaging out to people. And so this I was very skeptical in the beginning. Of course, I know that maybe this is a scam, but I was always careful. So what happened is that the next thing that they say is that I should make a police report for this. Okay, and once I make a police report, I need to send this police report to this officer, all right, so that to show that I have done the necessary preventive measures, like protecting myself because somebody used my WhatsApp to send out. So they provided like a guide to protect me, and come to a certain point that I kind of like believe him. Now, of course, then the next thing that he says that I need to make a police report at this police station in Terengganu. And of course, that is where I was caught. My reply was, Terengganu, but I'm in Selangor. That is where their next script, that's what they say. Oh, fine, if you can't go to the Terengganu police station, so let me transfer you to the police officer who is, I can connect you to the police officer. So in this instance, then I know immediately that, this is a scam call. And of course, what I do next, hang up the phone, right? Hang up the phone. So they won't start off by telling you, by transferring the line to police, but they will start off now by keeping you convinced that they are actually from the government agency. So what we can see here is that their scripting or their modus operandi has slightly improved. Okay, so they know what's happening. Now, how can we protect ourselves? Red flags. Okay, red flags means to say caution. Now, if you are asked to transfer money, or maybe your friends or your family ask you for help, right? Not much, maybe they ask you, hey, please transfer 500 ringgit to my account. Okay, now, so when we transfer the money, the beneficiary's name will always be shown on your e-banking app or your e-banking website. So please look into the beneficiary name. Does it match with the name of your friends or your family members? Okay, look at the beneficiary name before you confirm the transaction. The next red flag is that exaggerated stories of false accusation. Exaggerated stories, maybe they will say that, I'm overseas, I lost my wallet, Okay, I can't buy a ticket, please help me. False accusation. They claim that you have sent a package and that package contains somebody else's IC, you're doing something illegal, or perhaps you're doing drug trafficking, so false accusation. Now, of course, if we have not done any of this, why should we be afraid? They will contact and request for sensitive or personal information. All right, they will ask you for your PIN number, user ID, password. Now, bear in mind, government agencies, they have repeatedly mentioned they won't ask for your personal or sensitive information, such as your password or your PIN. Even banks as well. Banks, if they call you, they will not ask for all this information. Okay. Now, if you notice that during the telephone call, a strong sense of urgency from the scammer, they keep on pressuring you. They ask you to immediately do this. Go and make a police report now. Okay, so that you are protected. So they why do they do this? Is because they want you to do it fast. Because when you are doing it fast, we don't think. We are reacting to what they want. Okay, so be careful on when they urge you to do something urgently, right? Now, and of course, they will always end their conversation by saying that you're supposed to transfer the money in order to comply with the investigation, so you don't get yourself in trouble. And of course, if victims truly believe them, that's where, because we are fearful of the law, right? So we are fearful of being apprehended by the police. So what is the option for me to get out of this? Transfer money. Okay, fine, then I will do that, because that's perhaps the easy way to do it. That's where we get caught, right? If we believe their stories. Now, that's where, like I said, emphasis on consequences if you fail to obey. Like I said just now, if they will the police will come and see you, you'll be fined, you'll be jailed. All right. So of course, what is the ultimate objective? Put fear in you, and once they caught you, you will listen to what they want. Now, let's look at some real case studies that has been that has appeared in the news media, real actual cases. And perhaps from these real cases, we can learn a thing or two from what to do and what not to do. Now, the first case here will be this retiree in Kuala Terengganu, lost about 800, close to 900 over 1,000 in a police impersonation scam. 56-year-old retiree. He lost his money from his EPF account. Well, how many? Just 7 transactions. Now, the scammer impersonated as an online shopping agent and also a police officer. So falsely claimed that this victim was involved in money laundering, drug trafficking, and all that. Managed to convince our victim to transfer his money into various accounts in order to avoid arrest. Okay, so of course, drug trafficking, a very serious crime in Malaysia. Okay, it really creates fear in the victim, such and so. That the victim really believe. Now, once the victim believe, this will be the opportunity for the scammer to proceed to their next step, that is to convince the victim to transfer the money. And in this case, the scammer managed and successfully did that. Case study number 2, a couple lost 500,000 to, again, this impersonation scam. So the husband apparently sent a WhatsApp to the wife, asking the wife to transfer 500,000 to a third party. Now, of course, what the wife did was that the wife obligingly did the transfer without questioning, and only discovered she got scammed when, end of the day, when the husband returned home and said that, no, I did not make such a request. So we notice now, again, another modus operandi. Uses a WhatsApp message pretending to be husband sent. So what is the key learning point from this case study? If we receive a message that is out of the ordinary, I think what should we do will be, don't follow what is required in the message. I think we should contact or speak to the person who sent you the message, at least to confirm what is happening. Is it real? What's the purpose of it? So I believe that, call first before we do anything. Don't react, respond positively. This next case study, the woman loses 50,000 to the scammer impersonating a friend. So if you look at this story, 63-year-old woman, the scammer convinced this lady to lend the money urgently because apparently the friend had an emergency. Now the victim grew suspicious when the impersonator continued to request for more payment. Now what she did was that she then called up this friend. Okay, so happened this friend is residing overseas, but she managed to get hold of the friend, and of course the friend here denied that asking for money. So what can we see from this particular case here is that if let's say this lady did not call up this friend, well, I believe that she would make more and more transfer, more and more payments. So, well, sometimes it's always good, call your friend or call the bank or perhaps call whichever agency that so happen that this person claims to be, just to confirm before you transfer the money or send out give out information about yourself to this individual. Now, case study number 4 is a bit interesting because it's not from a calling, but the customer received an email. Right, the customer received an email, and the email seems to come from this so-called business partner asking for a payment for about 250,000. Okay, so what happened is that this victim assumed that perhaps this business partner were using a different account. So therefore, when he transferred the money to this business partner, he didn't notice about the different beneficiary details here. Okay. Only realized he was due a week later when the real business partner confirmed that no payment was made. Now, of course, this contact point here is neither call or WhatsApp or social media messaging, but it's via email. So what are the precautions we can take if you, constantly correspond, with your customers via email? I would suggest, we would suggest that check the email address, whether it comes from this customer. Okay, look at the beneficiary account details before you transfer. And if your account name is different, stop. Perhaps contact the customer or contact the person for a confirmation before you proceed further. Now, next case study is a successful one because this customer was saved, only 6,000 ringgit, but when a bank officer spotted, signs of a scam, so the customer claimed that she was sending money to a friend, but she was actually transferring money to multiple beneficiaries. So this bank officer intervened, and when upon the questions that this bank officer asked and found out that this customer was received a telegram message from this friend, and then was asked to transfer money to multiple beneficiary accounts. So the bank officer managed to convince this customer that this is a scam. Okay, now as a precaution, I think most of us, most bank, even public bank staff, will basically ask our customers the reason and purpose of transfer or withdrawal when you come over to our branch to perform this transaction. Now, we understand that this question might be sensitive to you as a customer, but ultimately the question why we ask this is basically for the safety and protection for our customers, to ensure that you are not being tricked or to transfer this money to a scammer's account. The next case study also is a success story. Basically, also the bank officer managed to spot the scam, what you call red flags, and managed to stop customers from transferring the money. Okay, now how can we avoid from being actually a victim? Of course, the easy way is that don't answer any unknown phone calls that as that comes through your phone. Okay, but to some of us maybe it's difficult because maybe you are expecting your customers to call you, or perhaps you did not save their contacts. There's such calls coming in. But if you were to receive, or if you cannot avoid from answering these calls, then perhaps use this precaution. When you are asked to transfer money to a person's account, check the beneficiary details. Does it match with the person as he claimed to be? Okay. Now, next thing is verify the caller. Some people they just call you and say, "Hi, Roland, how are you? Still remember me?" When you start off like this, obviously I may not recognize your voice and I wouldn't know who you are. All right. So, if as the conversation drag on sometimes, perhaps maybe, you can do some verification and maybe asking questions that perhaps you and, your friend or your family members only know the answer. And never share personal banking details over the phone. Never. And if someone claims that they are calling from a bank or government agency, like I said, check the website, call back the official number of the bank, or visit the branch, or if you can, to just ensure things are in order. And do not click on any link that has been forwarded to you, whether it's SMS or whether it's any messaging via messaging apps. Don't click on any link that is suspicious. Now, if you were to make, let's say, transfer, like maybe you are buying something, shopping online, or you're asked to perform a transfer to this third party. One of the methods or tools that you can use is to check the recipient's details on this CEMAC Mail website, which is basically in our Police Diraja Malaysia, or the police website. Okay, so they have revised or revamped their website. So you can choose your language in 4 different languages, key in the account number, and then you click CEMAC. Okay. Now, if let's say this account is a suspected mail account or has involved in certain, this kind of illegal transfer, you will see a result popping up to say that there's been 2 reports. Okay. And the account number, is being flagged out here. So be careful. So don't make any transaction if really, the disclaimer pops up in this CEMAC Mail website. Now, when you use this website, also please exercise caution, because if the beneficiary's account has not been reported into NSRC or to any police report, maybe the outcome of this research will not show anything. Okay, so do exercise caution. So if nothing comes out in this CEMAC Mail, well, it doesn't mean that it's perfect, but you just have to be careful. Now, Public Bank has also put in some enhanced security measures in our MyPB app, in the internet banking. Okay, so we have these PB challenge questions that it will be prompted whenever a transaction is deemed as high risk. Okay, and this challenge question, basically it helps with identity verification. The digital security token has been integrated into our MyPB app, which is our mobile banking app, to authenticate the banking transactions safely, which is via biometric. There is a transaction cooling off period that whenever transactions that are deemed abnormal, it will be on hold for a short period of time before it's automatically released. And every time you make a first-time transfer to a new beneficiary, the system will pop up a message, just to gives you an alert that perhaps you want to check at the CEMAC Mail. Of course, if you are confident that this is not, Mail account or somebody else, then you can still proceed with the transfer. Now, in any case or in any time, perhaps you have fallen victim to a scam, can always call up our case management department, or even send an email to this email address, or call up National Scam Response 997, 24 hours, 7 times a week, okay, to report any cases of scam. Now, You can also go to our public bank website to report any phishing link that you have perhaps noticed. Okay, or if you come across any promotion with misleading information regarding public bank, you can report through the report phishing link at our public bank website. We also have a fraud or scam incident report at our website, as well as the kill switch function, which function as a central switch that temporarily disables all the features, including your online banking, your ATM cards, or even your credit or debit cards. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that today's session has given you information on how to safeguard ourselves against scam, any types of scam. So together, Public Bank and you, we can do a part to stop and prevent scam together. Thank you for joining in today. Have a good day.